Domestic violence programs in Illinois have been waiting for months for state funding. Organizations recently found out that the roughly $9 million in state aid was left out of the stopgap budget, which was passed back in July. News Channel 20's Matt Wickos tells us what's next for these organizations.
Stacy, domestic abuse shelters and program leaders from around the state met in Springfield today. They were having tough conversations on how to save money while they wait longer for funds. One survivor of abuse says these programs could be a difference between life or death.
To be independent pretty quickly.
Jennifer Gabrinia is a survivor of domestic abuse. She's been a victim of its destructive force.
I'm not one of those people that has one of those happy families that was able to stay intact.
Gabrinia says survivors and victims are going to need to look harder to find help in Illinois.
They've already provided the services for 8 months. Now they need to be paid for all of that. They've been carrying that on their backs.
Vicki Smith advocates for domestic abuse shelters. She says the state made the mistake of not putting the correct appropriations for the 62 state programs. Smith says now they're behind $18 million.
They had to submit budgets for those signed contracts. Some of them, many of them had to make sure the budgets were accurate. They had to amend them.
With no state money, these sanctuaries are facing cuts. Sojourn's Angela Bertoni oversees orders of protection in a 32-bed facility in Springfield. Angela says she doesn't know what else she can eliminate.
I mean, how do you cut either of those services without putting people's lives at danger? So
Jennifer knows what it's like already to not have these resources. Her earliest memories of abuse started when she was 9 years old.
A lot of anger towards my father. When my parents got divorced, I think I was the most happy person.
The survivor wanted to make sure no child ever felt the pain she felt. So she became a director of her own shelter in suburban Chicago.
And I think it's invaluable for children to know that what's happening in their families is not their fault, and there's places that they can go for help. I'm afraid of the day when we know for sure that someone has died because they couldn't reach out to a program to get the help that could have saved them.
These agencies plan on meeting again in May. Angela says the big topic will still be funding these 62 programs that provide shelter and counseling. Stacy.